Imagine finding inspiration for a better future, not from some, think tank or university, but from a prison cell.
Wow.
That's exactly where we're headed today. We're diving into the personal journals of Brian Rowe,
Okay.
written while he was incarcerated at Fort Dix Federal Prison back
Mm.
in 2017. What makes Brian's story so fascinating is this incredible contrast between his, physical confinement
Yeah.
and the expansive thinking he was doing
Right.
about national progress and innovation.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily expect someone in Brian's position to be like reflecting on these
Right.
big picture ideas, but
Yeah.
it's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it all started with a simple question
Okay.
that he grapples with in one of his journal entries.
So set the scene for us.
Right.
What was Brian wrestling with in his journal?
Well, he was struck by two very different quotes about the relationship between, a nation and its citizens.
Okay.
One was JFK's famous line,
No.
"Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country."
Right.
A call to individual action and responsibility.
Yeah.
The other was a quote from President Trump,
Okay.
"A nation exists to serve its citizens,"
Hmm.
emphasizing the role of government in supporting its people. Brian was really trying to, reconcile these
Yeah.
seemingly opposing viewpoints.
So on one hand, you have this idea of individual responsibility,
Yeah.
and on the other hand, the idea of government support.
Right.
Two very different lenses for viewing societal progress.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, how did Brian make sense of this tension?
Well, that's where his journaling gets really interesting.
Okay.
He writes, "A nation's culture resides in the heart and soul of its people."
Hmm.
He's suggesting that it's not just about, laws and institutions, but
Right.
the collective spirit and actions of individuals
Yeah.
that truly shape a nation.
That's a powerful statement. It suggests that real change starts at the personal level, right? If we want a better country, a better world,
Mm-hmm.
we need to start by looking inward.
Exactly. Brian seems to be arguing that, personal growth and action are the foundation for larger societal change.
Yeah.
It's not about waiting for someone else to, fix things. It's about asking,
Right.
what can I do, even from where I am?
And this brings us to another interesting aspect of Brian's story, his belief in the importance of, speaking out and taking risks. He even quotes Elbert Hubbard in his journal, "The only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, say nothing, be nothing."
Oh, that's such a relevant quote, don't you think? It speaks to the importance of, engaging with the world, even when it's
Right.
uncomfortable or challenging.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how many of us, stay silent or
Yeah.
hold back for fear of criticism.
That's a good point, and I think it's especially powerful coming from someone in Brian's position. He wasn't letting his circumstances define him. Instead, he was actively choosing to think critically, envision possibilities, and even challenge, conventional wisdom.
What's remarkable is that he was cultivating a sense of resilience,
Mm.
refusing to let his environment, dictate his mindset.
Yeah, yeah.
He was choosing to engage, even when it would have been, easier to
Right.
simply withdraw.
And this is where he introduces this intriguing concept of imaginers.
Yes.
He actually compares himself to historical figures like George Washington Carver,
Okay.
known for his agricultural innovations,
Mm-hmm.
and modern-day entrepreneurs like Travis Kalanick, the
Mhm.
founder of Uber.
It's a bold comparison,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What do you think he's getting at by linking himself to these very different individuals,
Well,
especially given his situation at the time?
on the surface, it might seem like a stretch.
Yeah.
But I think Brian is trying to highlight a common thread, the spirit of innovation, the willingness to think differently and challenge the status quo.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's focusing on the mindset rather than the specific achievements.
Yeah.
He seems to be defining imaginers as, people who don't just see problems, but actively envision solutions
Right.
and then take action to bring those solutions to life.
And he's clearly convinced that these imaginers have the power to change the world.
Absolutely.
It's about that inner drive to create and contribute, not waiting for permission or, the perfect circumstances.
It's a proactive approach to shaping the future,
Right.
and it's particularly striking, because he's writing all of this from prison, an environment that
Yeah.
could easily lead to despair or hopelessness.
So what does this tell us about the power of journaling and reflection? It seems like Brian was using it as a tool to, like, stay mentally engaged,
Hmm.
process his experiences, and even cultivate a sense of, hope.
That's a great observation. Journaling wasn't just a way to pass the time for Brian. It was a way to actively shape his mindset,
Right.
his outlook on the world, and his belief in his own agency.
His journal becomes this space where he can explore ideas,
Right.
connect with historical figures, and envision a future he wants to be a part of. It's almost like he's, breaking free from the physical limitations of his surroundings through the power of his own thoughts and imagination.
Exactly. And that brings us to another key theme that emerges from Brian's writing, the importance of connecting those dreams and visions to action.
Right. He wasn't just content with imagining a better future. He wanted to play an active role in creating it. In fact, there's another quote he references in his journal.
Oh, yes, I remember this one.
Yeah.
He writes, we must get involved, become proactive, and refuse to sit idly by. It's a call to move beyond, passive observation and step into a role of active participation in shaping the future.
And I think this ties back beautifully to his concept of imaginaries.
Yeah.
He's not waiting for someone else to lead the charge. He's taking ownership of his role in creating change, even if it, starts with a simple act of journaling and reflection.
It reminds me of Margaret Mead's famous quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has."
Yeah.
Brian, in his own way,
Yeah.
embodies that spirit. He's demonstrating that change doesn't always require, grand gestures or
Right.
sweeping movements.
Yeah.
It can begin with, a shift in mindset, a commitment to personal growth,
Yeah.
and a willingness to, speak out and take action, even in the face of adversity.
So as we delve deeper into Brian's story, I think it's important to ask ourselves, what kind of imaginers do we want to be? What are the challenges we see in the world, and what are the solutions we can envision? And most importantly, what steps can we take, however small, to move those solutions from the realm of imagination to the realm of reality?
These are crucial questions for all of us to consider.
Yeah.
Brian's story is a powerful reminder that each of us has the potential to contribute to a better future, regardless of, our circumstances.
Yeah.
It starts with, cultivating that imaginer mindset,
Right.
embracing the power of reflection, and then taking those, courageous steps to turn our visions into action.
It's about recognizing that we're not just passive observers in the unfolding story of our nation and our world. We are active participants.
Right.
And our thoughts, our words, and our actions all have the power to, shape the future we create.
And that's perhaps the most important takeaway from Brian's journey.
Yeah.
He's not just sharing his personal reflections.
Right.
He's inviting us all to join him in this ongoing process of imagining and building a better future.
Yeah.
One thought, one action, one conversation at a time.
So as we move towards the final part of our deep dive today, I encourage you to, hold on to that sense of possibility. Brian's story is a testament to the power of the human spirit to transcend limitations and contribute to something larger than ourselves. Let's carry that inspiration with us as we explore the final insights from his incredible journey.
What strikes me about Brian's story is the sheer audacity of his thinking.
Right.
Here he is, confined within the walls of a prison.
Yeah.
Yet his mind is soaring with ideas about, national progress and innovation. It's as if he refused to let his physical circumstances limit his, intellectual and imaginative freedom.
That's such a powerful point.
Yeah.
It really speaks to the resilience of the human spirit, right?
Absolutely.
Even in a situation like designed to, restrict and confine,
Yeah.
Brian found a way to break free through the power of his thoughts.
Precisely. And I think this ties back to what we were discussing earlier about the importance of journaling and reflection.
Yeah.
For Brian, it wasn't simply a therapeutic exercise. It was a tool for actively shaping his mindset and outlook on the world.
It's like his journal became this fertile ground for cultivating hope even amidst adversity.
Right.
He was intentionally using it to plant seeds of possibility and nurture a belief in his own agency.
Exactly. And this is where Brian's story goes beyond mere inspiration.
Right.
and starts to, offer a practical roadmap
Okay.
for all of us. He's showing us that even in the face of challenges,
Yeah.
we have the power to choose our mindset,
Right.
and to actively engage in, shaping our own narratives.
It's funny because when you think about it, prison is often seen as a place of like isolation and disconnection.
Right.
But for Brian, it seems to have had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
His journaling allowed him to like connect with ideas, historical figures, and even future possibilities.
That's a really insightful observation.
Yeah.
It's almost as if by, retreating inward, he was able to expand outward,
Yeah.
connecting with something larger than himself.
Right.
And I think that's a powerful reminder for all of us.
Absolutely.
In the world that's constantly bombarding us with, information and distractions.
Right.
It's easy to lose sight of our own like inner compass.
Yeah.
Brian's story, I think, encourages us to, carve out time for reflection,
Right.
to connect with our own values, and to envision the future we want to create.
And that's where I think the real magic of Imaginers lies.
Yeah.
It's not just about having ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's about cultivating a mindset of possibility, a belief in our ability to, shape the future.
So how do we tap into that imaginer mindset?
Yeah, that's the question.
How do we go beyond, simply dreaming about a better world and actually start taking steps to, make it a reality?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. It is.
I think it starts with identifying the issues that we're truly passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are the challenges that keep us up at night?
Yeah. What are the injustices that we feel compelled to address?
That makes sense. It's about aligning our actions with our values, right?
Exactly.
And then once we've, identified those core issues, how do we move from passion to action?
Well, I think Brian's story offers some clues.
Okay.
He talks about the importance of, speaking out, taking calculated risks,
Right.
and refusing to be passive bystanders.
Yeah.
It's about finding our voice and using it to, advocate for the change we want to see.
So it's not enough to simply have good intentions or to, privately dream of a better world. We need to be willing to step outside of our, comfort zones and to actively engage in the process of creating change.
Exactly. And that might look different for everyone.
Yeah.
For some, it might mean, joining a protest or volunteering for a cause they believe in.
Right.
For others, it might be as simple as, having a courageous conversation with a friend or family member about an issue that matters to them.
It's about recognizing that even small acts of courage can have a ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really empowering message.
Absolutely.
It means that we all have the potential to be, imagines regardless of our background or circumstances.
Absolutely. We don't need to wait for permission or for the perfect moment to start making a difference.
Right.
We can start right now with the resources and opportunities we have available to us.
And sometimes that might mean starting small.
Yeah.
Taking incremental steps towards the larger vision we have for the world.
Exactly. It's about, celebrating those small wins.
Right.
Acknowledging our progress and using it to fuel our continued efforts.
Brian's story reminds us that the journey towards a better future is not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Right.
There will be setbacks and challenges along the way, but it's the commitment to keep moving forward that ultimately makes all the difference.
And I think that's a powerful message to carry with us as we transition to the final part of our deep dive today.
Okay.
Brian's story is not just about his personal journey. It's an invitation for all of us to step into our own roles as imaginers.
Right.
And to actively participate in creating a world that reflects our highest aspirations.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Brian's journals and his time at Fort Dix, I keep coming back to the power of his mindset.
It's really quite extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most people in his situation would understandably focus on the limitations of their surroundings.
Right, right. Yeah.
He chose to cultivate an expansive mindset, one that looked beyond, the prison walls and embraced the possibilities of a better future.
And it wasn't just wishful thinking, right? He was actively using his, journaling practice to develop a framework for positive change.
Yeah.
Both within himself and in the world around him.
Absolutely. He wasn't just, waiting for things to get better.
Right.
He was taking concrete steps to make them better.
Yeah.
Even if those steps, initially seemed small or insignificant.
So as we reflect on, Brian's story and the insights he shared, I think it's important to, distill those key takeaways into something actionable for our listeners.
Yeah.
What are
Absolutely.
the practical lessons we can all, glean from Brian's experience?
Well, I think, one of the most important takeaways is the power of proactive imagination.
Yeah.
Brian's story reminds us that, our thoughts are not just fleeting things. They have the potential to shape our reality.
Right.
By consciously choosing to focus on, positive possibilities and solutions, we can actually start to shift our mindset
Right.
and create a more, hopeful outlook.
That reminds me of the concept of self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah.
We tend to create the reality that we believe in if we constantly dwell on, negativity and limitations.
Right.
That's what we're likely to experience.
Yeah.
But if we cultivate a belief in possibility and empower ourselves to take action, that's when, real change starts to happen.
Exactly. And I think Brian's emphasis on imaginers really speaks to that proactive approach.
Yeah. Right.
He's not just advocating for daydreaming. He's calling for a conscious and deliberate effort to envision solutions and then to take steps to bring those solutions to life.
And that leads us to the second, key takeaway, which is the importance of speaking up and taking action.
Absolutely.
Brian wasn't content with, simply journaling about his ideas.
Right.
He felt a responsibility to share them, to engage in dialogue and to, advocate for the change he believed in.
It's a reminder that our voices matter, that our perspectives have value, and that even small acts of courage can contribute to, positive change.
Right.
Brian's story encourages us to step out of our comfort zones, to challenge the status quo, and to use our voices to advocate for the world we want to live in.
And I think it's important to acknowledge that this can be incredibly daunting.
Yeah.
Especially, when we're faced with systemic issues or seemingly insurmountable challenges.
Right. Yeah.
It's easy to feel like our individual efforts won't make a difference.
That's where Brian's story offers a powerful counter-narrative.
Yeah.
He reminds us that every movement, every revolution starts with individuals who are willing to, speak up, to challenge the norm and to take those first courageous steps.
And sometimes those steps might seem, incredibly small.
Right.
Like writing in a journal or having a conversation with a friend.
Yeah.
But those, small actions can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to, join the movement and
absolutely
ultimately leading to meaningful change.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're not alone in our desire for a better world.
Right.
There are, countless others who share our values and who are working towards, similar goals.
Right.
By connecting with those individuals and joining forces, we can amplify our impact and create a more powerful force for change.
So as we conclude our deep dive into Brian's story, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question. Considering Brian's, belief in imaginers,
right?
What role do you want to play in shaping a better future?
It's a question worth, pondering.
Yeah.
What are the issues that ignite your passion?
Right.
What are the solutions you envision? And what steps, however small, can you take today to move those solutions from the realm of possibility to the realm of reality?
Remember, even amidst the complexities and challenges of our world, there's always room for hope.
Absolutely.
For creativity and for the transformative power of individual action.
Yeah.
Brian's story is a testament to that truth. Now it's your turn to write your own chapter.
Yes.
In the ongoing story of progress and positive change.
Go out there, embrace your inner imaginer, and let's, work together to build a future worthy of our dreams.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible story of Brian Rowe.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
yes,
and keep imagining a better world.